So if you saw my 2025 book goals video, you may recall that one of the goals in that video was to not buy books, to essentially put myself on a book buying ban for the year. But if you know anything about me, you know that was never gonna happen. So welcome to the video, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today we are doing one of my favorite videos to watch, and I feel like just a favorite for everybody on BookTube. We're doing a book haul, a really massive one actually, and I'm kind of concerned about how many books are here. Essentially, this is every book that I have been gifted or purchased since January, which actually, looking at it, is so terrible, and I'm feeling kind of ashamed right now, but it'll make for fun content. And I'm telling myself that most of the books in this video I purchased to use for videos, so like really, I'm just fueling my YouTube career. I feel like book haul videos are always fun to watch because it's kind of like you're getting to see what new books are out there, what books people are interested in right now, all the things, and I have quite the selection here. I kind of tried to break up the books by genre. Oh my goodness, there are so many books here. I just want to get right into it. Let's just do this book haul. So the first books I'm going to start with are actually from Waterstones in London. I went on a trip to Europe in March and April, and I went bonkers in Waterstones. I've always wanted to go to Waterstones. I had a budget set aside for book shopping in Europe, and I got a good selection. So the first one that I got, we have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I've wanted to read this for ages. I really like the European cover more than the US cover, so it just felt like a no-brainer to buy that one, and I'm so excited to read it. The next one we have is possibly the book that I'm the most excited for. This is one that I was fully intending to get. We have the UK version of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab. She's stunning. It's so beautiful. Next we have one of my favorite books. I got The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This one, I honestly don't love the UK cover too much, but like it's one of my favorite books and I just felt the need to have it in my hands. So we got that. Then we have The Beach by Alex Garland. This is actually one of my dad's favorite books and he's told me to read it for ages. And it's like a really cool 20th anniversary edition. Like, look at that gradient. Stunning. So I purchased it and I'm excited to finally read it. And then finally from the UK, I got a collection of books. The Heartstopper collector's editions from the UK. However, I only got 2 through 5 because I have the first one from the US, and like in my head I thought they looked the same, but they certainly do not. So I kind of messed up there. I'm gonna have to eventually buy the UK version of the first volume, but like these are so pretty. I love the colors. They're more like pastel kind of, and they have like a foil design on them. And I love Heartstopper, so I'm excited. And then I lied, I actually have one more book from the UK. We have The Perks of Being a Wallflower, a book I've wanted to read for so long, and they actually had like 3 different covers there, and this was my favorite one, so I got it. And it's really neat looking, and I'm stoked because I watched this movie years ago, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to finally read the book. Next, we're gonna go into my most recent book purchases, starting with one that I think is just possibly the most stunning book I've ever purchased. We have Watch Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is a new spin-off from the Shatter Me series, a series that I absolutely adore, and it's also just like a really beautiful series, but like they went off with this one. The designer for this cover killed it. It's so beautiful. It's like this gorgeous like cotton candy color, and the inside has gummy bears. The outside is like this beautiful lavender color with a quote, and then the edges of the pages, which normally I'm not a big fan of like sprayed edges, but it's like this iridescent thing going on. So really pretty. I am actually currently reading this one, and I'll give you my thoughts in another video. And then it wouldn't be a 2025 book haul video without Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I got the Barnes exclusive edition because can we take a moment to talk about how Reese's Book Club picked up this book? And they literally put the Reese's Book Club sticker that is not removable on the first printing of the book. I actually prefer the regular cover, not the Barnes exclusive, but I will not have that sticker on my book. So we went with the Barnes exclusive. Still stunning. I'm excited about this one. Actually also reading this one right now, so you'll hear my thoughts on that one later as well. Then we have Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. The cover of this one is really neat. Jessa Hastings is an author that I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with, and I did buy this one specifically for a video. I don't know much about this one. That's all I really have to say about that one, I guess. Next up we have Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. I have been looking for this cover for ages, like literal years, because this is the sequel to The Shining and I wanted it to kind of match my book, and I didn't want the movie version, the movie cover. Suddenly saw this on the shelf one day at work and just had to buy it, so we got her. Then we have an author that I really, really love. We have the new Sophie Cousins book, Is She Really Going Out With Him? I don't know anything about this. I have not read the back. I just know it's Sophie Cousins and I love her. Like, Sophie Cousins is literally the author that inspired me to do my New Year's tradition. So like, she's an auto-buy author for me. Next we have kind of a crazy choice for me. I got Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver because I read Butcher and Blackbird months ago, expected to absolutely hate it, but like, tell me why it was just such a fun time. Like, this is so not my scene, but I really enjoyed it and I wanted to continue the series, so I got this one, probably just to have some laughs. And then we have one that I am the most excited about. I've been waiting ages for. We have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This is about Alice from Every Summer After. Every Summer After is one of my favorite romances of all time. I absolutely adore that book. And this cover is just the most stunning thing you've ever seen. Like, it's all shiny, like glossy kind of. And then inside, you just have these super cute pictures. And I cannot wait to read this book. So those are all the books that I bought recently. And now we're gonna move into romance. Moving into romance, first we have You With A View by Jessica Joyce. My bestie Boo Bethany sent me this. I have wanted to read this for ages. I've almost purchased it so many times. So when this arrived in my mailbox, I was absolutely stoked and I need to get around to reading it. But thank you so much, Bethany. I love it. I'm so excited. Next, we have an author that I honestly am not a huge fan of. I bought this book for a video. This is one last-ditch effort with her. We have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, originally titled Wet. We all know the lore, but this one I think is really pretty. It's another one I think that has like, yeah, it has like pictures on the inside. I don't know that I'm gonna love this book, but I'm gonna give it a chance. We'll see, hopefully very soon. Next up, we have possibly the most exciting book in this video. I have Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. It is signed and personalized for me because I got to do something I've dreamed of for so long. I got to meet Sarah Adams. I went to one of her book signings. She came just a couple hours from where I live. I went with one of my friends and it was the coolest thing ever. Also, when she was signing my book, like, she knew who I was. I'm sorry, what? Sarah Adams knew who I was? Literally, I was like, shut up, no you don't. You're literally lying to me. One of the most exciting nights of my life. I had the best time, and she signed a bunch of my books, which was so awesome. She's the sweetest person ever. I'm so excited that happened. And then with that, Julie Soto came along on that tour to be like the interviewer for the tour, and she was also signing books, and I've never read her before, but now's the time. So I bought both of her books, Forget Me Not and Not Another Love Song. I did start this one. They're both signed by her. It was so cool. Also, Julie Soto and I were both wearing the folklore cardigans. We were kind of twins, super cute, but it was honestly the coolest night ever. Next up, we have a book that I talked about in my last video if you saw it, one of my favorite romances now. We have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and tell me this is not one of the cutest romance covers you've ever seen in your entire freaking life. It's so cute, and I'm obsessed with it. The colors are awesome, and I love the book. And then finally for romance, we have Never Planned on You by Lindsay Hammeroff. She wrote Till There Was You, a book that I read last Valentine's Day, and it was just the cutest little rom-com you've ever seen. I enjoyed it so much, so when I saw that she wrote a new book that also centers around like baking and cooking, which her last one did, I just knew I had to buy it. Okay, and then we move on to my young adult stack. Young adult is one of the genres that I typically buy the most of. So I don't think any of these were gifted to me. However, I am stoked about all of the books. The first one being Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Of course, I purchased this book the night it came out. I did run the midnight release party at my Barnes & Noble for it. Had a blast, bought the book, read it, loved it. Stunning cover, Suzanne Collins never misses. I could go on for days about this one. Then we have a book that was kind of like a random purchase, but I have no regrets. I got this special edition of The Outsiders. Like, it's so cool. It says Stay Gold on the edges of the papers. It says, if we don't have each other, we don't have anything. It's just like a really pretty, sleek looking edition. And I've been wanting to reread The Outsiders for so long. I read it in 7th grade, so like way back when. And I've wanted to reread it. I recently became obsessed with the musical, so I saw this and saw it as an opportunity to reread. Then we have Darkly. This is by the same author who wrote Neverworld Wake, one of my favorite books. I talk about it in so many of my videos, but it's more like a mystery thriller aspect, but it's like a very different concept, Neverworld Wake is. And then I saw she wrote another book, so I had to buy it. And now it's here. And it's also so beautiful. It has more of that cotton candy look. And I'm excited. Next, I bought a book that I read years and years and years ago. I was like 12 when I read this, but I've never purchased a copy. And it's one of my favorite authors of all time, so I finally bit the bullet. we have Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I am a die-hard Morgan Matson fan. This was her first book. It was the first one I read. It made me fall in love with her, and I decided it was time to finally have it. So I bought it, and I love how old-fashioned this cover is. Like, books don't look like this anymore. This is like Tumblr 2012 vibes, and I live for it. Next, I was sent some books by Aardvark, one of them being When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson. This is the author of I'll Give You the Sun, which is a book that I absolutely adore. It's one of the most heartbreaking books, but also just one of the best books ever. And I think this cover is so great. I saw it was coming out and I was so excited, and then Aardvark literally sent it to me. Thank you, Aardvark. So I was super stoked. And then these next two YA books are ones that my bestie Lucy told me to buy, actually, because she loved both of them. The first one being The Rose Bargain. I don't know anything about it. I know it's YA. There's fairies. Definitely not my typical type of book, but Lucy loved it, so I will give it a shot. And then the last one being Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. Again, don't know much about it. I do know it's a YA fantasy. I was gonna say it's like enemies to lovers, but I could be totally lying to you. I don't know. But I'm excited to read both of these because Lucy is like so fanatical about both of them, and I love to see her so excited, so I feel like I will enjoy them as well. And then I just have to mention two box sets that I got for YA. First one being The Hunger Games. We have the special edition. I haven't even unwrapped it yet because I want it to be like on a place of honor on my shelf, and I'm just trying to keep it in perfect condition, but like these covers are so cool. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend going to look them up and seeing what they look like. And then I also bought the special collection of Belladonna. These books are YA fantasy as well, and the main character I believe is Death, which is crazy. That could be a lie though, so don't quote me. But these books are so cool. The end papers are so cool. The actual hardcover itself underneath the dust jacket is so insane, so I just had to buy these, and I've heard it's just the most fantastic series, so I saw it one day at work. It was the only one I'd seen, so it came home with me. Next, we have a little bit of horror, the first one being Ghost Camera by Darcy Coates. I don't know anything about this, but I've wanted to read Darcy Coates for ages because I feel like she is such a staple horror author. So I bought it, and I'm intrigued to see like what she's like and see if it's actually scary, because horror never scares me. The next one was actually sent to me. I have Salem's Lot by Stephen King. The publisher sent it to me, and I love these covers that they put out for Stephen King's books, so I'm super excited about this one. Then I have Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. This one is people who are on a weird, creepy island, and there's something about the year 1994. I think they're like stuck in it, so it's kind of like an oldies book, if you can call the 90s oldies now. It sounds really fun to me. Again, I'm excited to see if it will actually scare me because that is so rare. And finally for horror, we have Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. I went and saw The Monkey, the movie, and that is one of the short stories in here, and I've wanted to read Skeleton Crew for ages, so I bought it, and I'm excited to see what I think about it. Moving on to fiction, the first one I have is one that was sent to me. It's an ARC. I have The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This one has come out now, but I am super excited to read it because I think it's gonna be right up my alley. I've heard it's really similar to Daisy Jones and the Six in that it's like an interview style about these two ice skaters, and I just eat that up, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Another one that was sent to me, we have Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. This one also sounds like it's gonna be my ideal read because it's about love and music, two things that I absolutely adore, so I don't see how I couldn't love this one, and I've just heard it's really great, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. The next one I have is Bunny by Mona Awad. I've heard this one is so strange. I've heard it's heathers mixed with something that I can't think of at the moment, but I've heard it's strange, and I love weird stuff, so I think I'll enjoy it, but I am a little nervous for it. And then I have Who We Are Now. This one I've actually never heard of. I just saw it on the shelf and read the back, and it's about these friends going through their 20s, and it just sounded so me in the moment. Like, it sounded exactly like what my life was like, so I felt like I needed to pick it up and just see what it's about. Next, we have a book that I've wanted to read for so long, and I bought it because it's beautiful, and now it's in paperback. We have Remarkably Bright Creatures. Like, normally, again, I'm not one for sprayed edges, but like this one is just so cool. It's very like themed for the book. It's not just like blue. But this one I've heard is a great fiction tale. It takes place through an octopus's point of view, I believe. And it's about grief and motherhood and like different emotional topics, I guess you could say. So I'm excited. I had a conversation with somebody the other day at Barnes & Noble, and she said her book club read this a couple years ago and just like died over it. They just loved it so much. So that's good to me. Next, I was actually just sent this yesterday. I have The Boy from the Sea. The publisher sent me this one. I love the cover of this one. I believe it's like a historical fiction about a family. I think the little boy goes missing. Not 100% sure, but that gives me Berry Pickers vibes, and I love Berry Pickers, so we'll see what I think about this one. Then we have The Snow Child. I bought this one to read with a group. However, it did not end up happening, but I'm still excited for it. It gives me Jack Frost vibes, even though it's not like the movie Jack Frost at all. It's like this mother and father build a snowman and it comes to life, or snow child. I don't know, but it sounds interesting. It's like a historical fiction again, so. Moving on, we have one that I'm super excited for. We have The Ministry of Time. This one is compared to Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. People say that if you love that one, you'll love this one. It's sci-fi, there's time travel, there's like all these different things. I think like some existentialism, I don't know, but I think it's gonna be my cup of tea. And I think the cover is beautiful. Another one that was sent to me by the publisher, we have Dream State by Eric Punchner. I don't know much about this one. I know that it's a literary fiction and it was an Oprah's book club pick for 2025. I've heard it's really great, so I'm excited to dive into it. I also love the cover. And I've been really, really into literary fiction lately, so when I received this, I was super excited. And I'm excited to read it and give you guys my thoughts. Next we have Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. This one is signed and it's a cool copy where it's annotated by her, so like as you flip through it, there's like different annotations throughout the book from when she was writing it, which I think is really, really cool. I have only read Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, but I enjoyed that one and I have been wanting to read this one for a while and I couldn't pass up the signed and annotated parts of it, so I purchased it. I think it's beautiful. It's weirdly oversized because it is annotated, but I'm excited to dive into it because again, literary fiction, I'm into it. And finally for fiction, we have The Starless Sea. This is by Erin Morgenstern, the author who wrote The Night Circus, a book that I read in 2024 and just loved so much, sobbed over it, thought it was so beautifully written, so fantastic. So I'm excited to read this one and see if it's just as good, hopefully better, we'll see. And now we move into our last pile. This is kind of a miscellaneous category because everything in here was something that I only had one or two of. It wasn't worth making a whole genre pile. But the first one a lot of people will probably be excited about. Me, not so much. We have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third installment in the Fourth Wing series, the Empyrean series, I believe is what it's called. I really enjoyed Fourth Wing, but I didn't love Iron Flame, but I had to buy Onyx Storm just to see, give the series one last ditch effort, see what I think. But I've had it since January and I still haven't picked it up and I don't know when I will, but it looks pretty with all my other Fourth Wing books, so at least there's that. The next one we have is Tell Me What You Did. This is a mystery thriller about a podcast host who lets people call in and confess their crimes anonymously. And then there's this crazy twist that happens. I bought it because I haven't read a mystery thriller in a hot minute, and that used to be the only genre I read. And this one just sounded interesting, so I'm excited to see if it actually does kind of shock me or if I feel let down, because that's kind of why I stopped reading mystery thriller. I started to feel like they were all just so predictable that I felt kind of bored by them. But we'll see what I think about this. The next one we have is a very exciting one to me. I didn't even know it was coming out until it literally was out. We have The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune, one of my favorite authors, the author of The House in the Cerulean Sea, Under the Whispering Door, as well as other books, and I just think he is such a great author. I love that his books are like cozy fantasy, and I have nothing to say about this one. I don't know anything about it because I want to go into it blind, but I think the cover is really pretty and I am so excited about it. The next two are ones that were again sent to me by Aardvark Book Club. The first one, The Lightning Bottles, is such a cool looking one. The cover is so awesome. And then we have Where I End by Sophie White. I believe this one is a horror and this one's fiction. I don't totally know, but they both sound really interesting. And I've had them for a while, so I think I'm gonna read them really soon because they just sound like something that I want to read for summer. They're short, they're gonna be easy, quick reads, and I'm looking forward to it. The next one we have is an ARC that I got from work. We have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I've been looking forward to this one because I enjoy V.E. Schwab so much, and then one day I was at work and this came and I literally just like gasped in shock and surprise and excitement and immediately took it home, and I was so excited to receive it. The first printing of this book is all going to be signed by the author, which I think is so cool, but this one is like a sapphic romance fantasy as far as I'm aware. I've heard it's great. My friend Lucy, again, read it, loved it, and I'm excited to read it really soon. It is coming out in June, so I'm gonna read it ASAP so I can have it read before the book comes out, but I'm just really excited about it. Another ARC that I got, we have Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I actually just got this one. This is the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, a series that is so awesome, so well loved. This one is actually an adult mystery thriller, which I think is really cool. I have not read anything about it, but I'm excited to dive into it and see what I think. And the final book that we have for this gigantic book haul, we have Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green, a signed copy that I love and treasure, and I'm so excited to have. I already read it, I gave my thoughts in the last video, and it will go sit on my shelf in a place of honor with all my other John Green books. I love it so much. Okay, I have been recording for a while. You've been listening to me talk for a while, but those are all the books that I have purchased or been sent or received since January. Yeah, is it an insane amount? What can I say? Buying and reading books are two separate hobbies, 100%. Jack Edwards said it best. And you know, it's tricky when you work at Barnes & Noble. You get a good discount and you just are surrounded by books all the time. It's easy to fall into that trap. But I really have no real excuse here. It's just that I love buying books and that's what I spend my money on, but it could be so much worse. Think about what I could be spending my money on. Like, think about it, okay? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys found some books that you might be interested in reading in this one. If there are any fun books coming out soon that you're excited for, feel free to let me know. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. All of my links are down below if you want to be friends on any of my social medias. I'm so happy to be back once again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.